Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to touch on a little bit of business before we get into today's video. But I don't know about you guys, but if you are in the review or reaction or whatever it is type of format like I do for my channel, start watching it with the copyright shit. Because I had my latest video, the last interview with the vampire, episode 5 review. I had that up for about 24 hours, well over 100 plus views, and then all of a sudden it was copyrighted and yanked off my channel for about 20 seconds of footage that I had shown in there. And I've had other previous videos where I would dispute them and they would just, whatever, they'd write them off and then they would be fine. But I've had a few disputes lately get actually rejected altogether where I can't do anything about it and it's just the way it is. So if you are in that style of reviewing or reacting or just anything that involves anybody's copyrighted shit, I think particularly WB, I've heard that they're really going to start cracking down on that kind of stuff where they're not even going to let people do this kind of crap anymore. Hopefully that's not the case. But like I said, my latest video was just Interview with the Vampire. I had a few seconds of footage in there that just happened to be, out of like the other 4 or 5 bits of footage that I had in there was just the wrong one. They yanked it down, blocked it. I'm trying to get it back up, but we'll see. They could just deny my dispute and then I have to fucking either edit the video or take it down altogether, which would just really piss me off. But with all that little bit of business out of the way, I just kind of wanted to talk about that for a second and kind of give everybody that comes across my channel or any of my subscribers just a heads up. If you do that kind of stuff, watch out. They will start, giving you a little slap now for having a little bit of the wrong footage in your video or whatever it is. But as far as that goes, we're done with that. So we're going to jump into today's video. Today is going to be about the episode 3 of the Winchesters. Again, it just continues down this path that I'm not 100% committed to the show. It's just the characters and the story, and I'm just not 100% on board with it. I really want to be, but so far it's just not doing that well in my eyes. It's not holding up to the legacy that is Supernatural and all the work they put in all there. Maybe they need to bring Eric Kripke back into it and actually have his input along with Jensen's and whoever else to actually give this show some validity, because just right now it's just not that good. It doesn't. I remember watching the first episode of Supernatural and being sucked in immediately. This, not so much. If it does not get better, it will fall off my radar and I will probably not watch it anymore. But I will give it the season and see what happens. I think this is supposed to be a 13 episode season. So with all of that, let's get into the review of the episode itself. This one started off with a little girl that is apparently Mary's neighbor. She has a relationship with this little girl, and then she has an older brother that she's babysat sometimes, and so they're next door neighbors to Mary's actual home. And this little girl is in her room and she's looking for her favorite stuffed animal. Her mother is a trucker. She's out on the road. She can't be there, so somehow this fucking 12-year-old brother of hers is responsible for this 8 or 9-year-old girl. Which, I mean, back in the 70s, that might have been more of a thing. But she is trying to find her favorite stuffed animal, I guess, and then all of a sudden appears, and so this burlap sack on the ground, and I guess that's where this monsters for this week's episode comes in. It tempts you with your most desired lost thing or whatever it is, and she picks it up, and then soon this thing comes up out of the burlap sack and sucks her back into his little world. And then Mary finds out, and then there's this cop that is investigating the situation, who happens to be John's ex-girlfriend. And it looks like at one point during the conversation it's revealed that they were almost married. Like, he might have proposed to her and she said no, or maybe he proposed and then he went off to war. It is what it is. And so there's this awkwardness that's between these two characters, and obviously you got Mary there and she's picking up on it, and whether she admits it or not, you can see it. She's jealous. It's the typical kind of situation. And so they go in and investigate this case with this little girl that goes missing. And that's kind of the A story of this episode. The B story is kind of it's I think her name's Ava, and then Carlos. They're tracking down the demon that possessed Ava in the first episode, and they're trying to track down this information to get any hits on the Krita, the the big bad for this series, or maybe just this season. And these demons that went after them, they killed the first one, sucked it into that little box, and now they're after this next one, and they're kind of it's Carlos and Ada. They're on a sting, I guess. They're kind of creeping out outside where they think this demon might be, and he just appears out of nowhere, and it seems that he might be a little bit more of a powerful demon because Carlos goes after him with the same water pistol trick with the holy water, and it does little to nothing to him, and they have a little tussle, and they toss that guy into the back of the van, which is rigged up with a demon trap that Carlos has. He has the sigil and everything on the roof of his van. And so they trap it, and they take him off to be interrogated. Meanwhile, Mary and John, they're off trying to investigate this, and then they bring in that other chick that I can't remember the name of. That's how kind of the impression this show's left on. I haven't bothered to learn a lot of their names yet. The Indian girl, John goes to her for information, or John and Mary both go to her, and it's shortly after this, because she's got some secrets that she's hiding about her home life and everything. I think she claims early in the episode that her parents are dead, but I don't think that's the case. And so she offers to little to no information for this particular monster, and then they go off, and this kid, the brother, he feels responsible for what's happened to his sister and everything, and so they take her into, or they take him into Mary's parents' house to watch over him, and they rigged up the whole house with just different traps and charms and stuff to keep monsters out, to keep it kind of a safe haven. And it's during all of this that they leave to figure out what's going on. This kid ends up getting himself sucked into the same situation that his sister's in. He gets tempted by something of his sister's, like a hair ribbon or something, and the thing appears and takes him off, and then John and Mary come back, and he's gone, and they kind of, at that point, figure out what they need to do. And Mary's dad's hat appears, kind of tying into the main story for the season, the missing, her missing father, and what they all want to do to find him, and what they need to do, and all this crap. And this is her desire, or, the lost thing that she once found. That triggers the thing, gets her sucked into the fucking little vortex. And so John has to go off and find out any information he can, because, he's trying to save her and everything, and save this other kid, or the other two kids. And so he goes back to the Indian girl. Apologies, I'll remember her name at some point, but she ends up calling in a favor back home, which I believe is with her parents or someone within her immediate family, just the way she acts and everything. She's hiding something. And gets the information she needs. John goes after her, goes back after Mary, figures out that they can communicate with her over a CB radio, which is kind of the kicker in the beginning of the episode. That's what the little girl's talking on to her mom, because she is a trucker, so she's on the road. And I guess these CB frequencies and all this stuff can cross over different airwaves, and they somehow manage to get in contact with Mary and tell her what kind of monster it is, how to kill it. And she has to let go of that hat. They have to let go of the things that they want, that they desire. That little girl, seconds after hearing that, rips that fucking doll's head off, and she wants to go home. And so it all comes down to Mary. The two kids get home. Mary still clinging on to her father and the notion of this, what she needs to do to find him, and just clinging to the hat because, she's got her issues or whatever. And she finally is convinced to burn it, because they say the only way to actually kill this thing is to have it out of its world. And so they do this, and the monster follows them back out, and naturally they kill it. And just the way they go about it and everything. And so then it kind of goes from there. Mary goes on her own little way, and we see her go to the movies, and this random guy shows up to go to the movies with her. And that's not sarcastically, it's not at all fucking suspicious. But yeah, he goes to the movies with her. Then John's off. He's burning the remains of this monster, which is just a burlap sack and shit. Then you got these creepy little fucking hell bugs or whatever the hell they are. I don't even know. Come out of nowhere, pick up the scrap of this burlap sack, take it back to the chick who, from the previous episode, had sucked the essence of the other monster into a bottle, and that's exactly what she does here. So the Krita is obviously hiding in this woman, or hiding in woman form, or whatever it is, and just, there you go, that's the episode. And just, it's very, very frustrating, because it's really teetering on the brink of sucking beyond all fucking belief. And just, I don't know, guys, it's up to you what you want to think of this show. This is just my personal opinion. It's really to the point where I don't believe, and I could be completely wrong, the legacy could save the show itself, that it may not see a second or maybe a third season. But anyways, there you go, that's the review of this episode. Another kind of random episode, not really anything pulling you in story-wise. The characters have a little bit of development, with one chick having her secrets, and the one thing I did forget, when Carlos and Ada are interrogating this demon, it's revealed that demons can actually be transferred to anything living. Doesn't even have to have a heartbeat. Anything that's living, including a fucking bonsai tree, which is exactly what she does. She sucks this demon into this bonsai tree, and he's therefore trapped, unable to communicate or anything like that. So that's kind of a new little twist on putting demons in different places other than just from person to person. So, but I guess that'll do it. That is my review / rant. Still hanging on hope that it will get better, but you just never know. So far, my hopes are getting dashed every single episode. So, but that's the review. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to check out my other videos, I'd really appreciate it. And if you feel so inclined, please subscribe to the channel. That would be awesome. And I guess I'll see you later, guys. Bye.